But I want to get into talking about this Spain Empro Classic Pro this weekend. And we've got some big names doing it as well because we've got Michal Krizo, who's going to be in that contest. We've got some a pro debut or two here as well. And here's the list for you guys. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
So we've got, I'm not sure who this guy is. We'll bring up some of the updates, but Wellington Fernando Baptista, he actually competed and got second in a show earlier this year. A really aesthetic guy. We've got the return of Roman Fritz, Peter Clancier, like I said, Michal Krizo, Joan Prudels. Now
that's the young guy that people think like they talk about him like Jay Cutler.
Yeah, he's looking pretty crazy. I don't know if he'll be quite ready to take out like a Michal Krizo or anything, but he's definitely got a bright future. It's a home pro show for him, being a Spaniard. Jose Manuel Munzo, Emir Omaragic, who's a really good guy who's placed right up there in pro shows. Andrea Presti, who's a Mr. Olympia competitor. I'm not sure who this guy is here. And then we've got Christian Wolski as well, who's done some pro shows, maybe even placed top 5 in a couple in recent years as well. So I suppose, like, Stan, looking at this list, who sticks out to you, I suppose, in terms of contending for this show? Like, is this Michal Krizo's show to lose?
Here, Presti, even Pradels, yeah. Those are the names that kind of stick out. But like Wellington really did really well also, and he's gonna be in shape. So, but
that Roman Fritz has a nice shape.
Yeah, man, he's looked really, really good lately. I'll bring up Wellington first, and then we'll get into Roman. Now, this is Wellington. I believe it was earlier this year. Just a really nice.
But this is the guy. This is the guy who was telling you, the coach, that people say we look alike. And he's got hair too. And like, if you go click on his profile, you'll find.
Is this him?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. I want to see the hair.
See, right there.
Is that him there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So this is one of those stuck-on haircuts.
Yeah, they just glued it, and it's good for like 3 weeks or so.
Wow. Wellington has the tattoos 100%. Like you got Aaron on the back of your head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He looks like a completely different person.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to Wellington. I was just mind blown by this. This is a really good photo of him as well. It was like. Yeah, he's definitely got the tattoos. Stan, do you think this guy can, if we get an off Michal Krizo, maybe if a few other guys miss it, can he potentially win this show? Because he did get second earlier in the year.
I believe so, yeah. He's got a great shape. He's very round, super aesthetic and condition. I think he can totally win the show, yeah. He's not really missing anything. Sorry?
Is he short?
Like 5'8", I think.
5'8".
How much is he?
How much what?
What's that, Keone?
How much is he weighing? He's very aesthetic. He's not like a mass monster.
Probably in the 230s, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he weighs, but he did. That was, I suppose, the one downfall from him. And I think from the back he was slightly behind, but from the front he was. Who was he against again? Was that against Mios's client Baruz?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that was the one thing. It was just mass overall, but there were certain shots where I'm like, "Oh, Wellington's actually winning this," but his back looks pretty nice there.
To a stage shot. I know sometimes people check-ins doesn't really translate to the stage, so I want to see like, does it translate?
Stage shot, yeah, here.
Yeah, it looks just the update. Yeah, he looks pretty. Has a lot of pop upper body for sure.
Yeah, very, very clean lines.
Yeah, I remember that show now.
Yeah, I think he just needs a bit more in the back, and then he'll be, a guy that's winning pro shows. But yeah, very, very nice.
I think all the top guys, the main difference is the back. Don't you reckon? Like all the top elite, like top 8 Olympia, there seems to be the back is the
back or legs. Yeah, it's the biggest muscles.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get back to this competitors list as well. So Roman Fritz, I'll bring up his profile. He's looking probably, I'd say he's all-time best by his recent updates, at least anyway, because he's a guy that's typically sort of known for maybe over-dieting a little bit.
He changed coach or something, I believe.
Did he?
I believe I heard him say that on with Voir. They were talking on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I might be wrong. I thought I heard him say he changed because I think he was doing his own before.
Yeah. Oh, he was working with Justin Compton for a little bit. I know that much, but I don't know if that was last year or a year prior or when it was. But yeah, he's definitely coming in fuller, but he's got, by the sounds of it, just a crazy metabolism, and he trains, well, at least used to train a lot as well. So whatever he's done, it definitely seems like it's working. And I think he was pretty discouraged after, I think it was last year when he competed last. But one thing I'll say is he needs to fix his posing a little bit as well. Like, Keone, do you see things pointing out here? Like, for me, just how he's got his hands even. Like,
yeah, 200%. I mean, yeah, same with the back. Same with the back double, like how his legs so sticking so far out on the side, and
it's far back, and you could turn his knee out more to show a little more of the quad sweep.
I mean, even his back, he can look a lot more wide, fix his hand placement.
And a lot of the time you can create like that sort of X-frame, just putting your knees out a little bit as well, and it makes the waist appear smaller. And I mean, like this quarter turn here, I think he's like, you can see the hands even, like it doesn't look natural. And sometimes when you see guys on stage and the pose looks uncomfortable, you sort of notice the uncomfortableness of the pose, and it's harder to judge the physique, and it's just not displayed properly as well. But I've got to take my hat off to Roman on how much better his physique is looking and how much fuller and how much bigger he is, because he's 120 kilograms here, which is 265 pounds 1 week out. So he's not a small guy now, and he was sort of known for being an undersized guy. So he's definitely added the mass, and he's not a short guy either. So I think he's going to look pretty imposing and maybe a potential contender for this show too. So I'm excited for that. Next guy, we'll look up Michal Krizo and whatever updates he has. Should I type in if I can find him? But he's obviously probably going to be the most talked about guy on the show. He competed last year. Got, I think it was it 11th at the Olympia? Somewhere around there. Yeah, so he's somewhere around 11th. Now this photo looks adjusted, altered, but regardless, he looks in pretty damn good shape. What do you think about Michal Krizo? This is 3 weeks out as well, by the way.
Well, obviously on social media, and I've seen him on stage. He's one of the biggest dudes in the world. But same thing with the posing. I feel like a lot of his poses he needs to adjust a little bit. I remember watching him on stage and thinking that he just looked a little bit nervous and a little bit. The poses were not confident. If I had to be nitpicky, do you know what I mean?
He fell apart on stage. Like, I was doing the live last year, and dude,
the tan was dripping. Do you remember the tan was dripping everywhere?
Dude, I did a live and I did a video on it. I said what happened to Michal Krizo at the prejudging from the whatever show it was last year, and he completely lost control of his. And people say, "Oh, you screenshotted at a bad time." I'm like, I didn't. I could give you about 50 screenshots. It was literally for minutes. He was gasping for air, letting his stomach hang right out, and his tan was dripping off his body. It was like the dude melted during prejudging. So it showed that he probably didn't work on his posing enough leading into the contest, because while there were other guys sweating a bit, it was nothing like what happened to him. Like he couldn't hold his physique.
I don't think I've ever sweat like that in any show in my life I've ever done. So I don't know. I reckon, like you say, it's down to not practicing posing for long periods enough, maybe, because it wasn't a little bit. He was dripping like it. The tan was running everywhere. And then if I had to be another nitpicky thing, he's obviously going to improve his condition a little bit. Other than that, obviously he's a big dude. He's got great genetics, round muscle bellies, but if he needs to get a little bit tighter, I think, and be more confident with those poses if he wants to crack the top 10 anyway.
What do you think, Keone? Do you think Michal Krizo can not only win this show, but then like force his way into that top 10 at this year's Olympia?
I do think he can win this show. As far as top 10, yeah, I can see him in top 10 as long as he improves his posing. I know he had a lot of critique like on his legs, right?
Yeah. He I don't know what's I think that's one of those AI ones. I think this is from the Olympia, I'm pretty sure, last year.
How much he improved on the size of his quads. I just really need to see like a full body update or a video posing.
Yeah, and I think he's looking more conditioned. I mean, by the videos I've seen and whatnot leading into this contest. I think his back is improving as well, which is a critique on him. So I think he's only going to get better. And when you look at him from a couple of years ago, he actually has added a fair bit of muscle too. So Stan, do you think Michal Krizo will win this show?
Yeah, I think this is his show to lose. And he's already like 11th at a very competitive Olympia last year, so I think he can easily crack top 10 just by like polishing a little bit more his posing, and his conditioning looks already better now. So, but I've seen some people also like it happened to me. I have like that nervous sweat too. Like the first round you're just drenched, and then then you're dry and ready to go. But
yeah,
sometimes
look, someone said prodigy material right there. I don't know about that. But this was 11 weeks ago, so this is like around 12 weeks out. So he was in a pretty good, I think, off-season position, maybe leaner than he normally is. I don't know, but yeah, I think that it's going to be his sort of show to lose. Now let's look up Joanne Perdels. I don't know if it's Joanne or Joanne. I think it's Joanne. Joanne. Oh man, I've been getting it wrong the whole time.
It can't be Joanne. Joanne's.
I said that on one show, man. I said Joanne. I'm like, no, it can't be that. It can't be Joanne. sorry, Joanne.
Maybe it is.
Oh, that's that young guy, right?
Yeah. And he's looking pretty damn good. I think he's going to need more years. I mean, this one is from 7 hours ago. So
what is he?
I think he's 26, isn't he, or younger?
Yeah, something like that.
That's wild. He has a crazy shape, though. He has a good base for sure.
Yeah,
but
and I think it's. Sorry, you go, Stan.
So he's got the bone structure. I think he's just need to like mature, get details and stuff like that. But he's got the outline.
Yeah,
wide the structure.
For sure. He's got the big biceps. He's got like the lats that pop and everything. But when you see him moving, there's just little areas of his physique, like his triceps here, like that needs to fill out a bit more to complete that sort of quarter turn. And there's just a few little areas like you see the biceps are popping out a lot, but the forearms aren't as developed, and the triceps, and it just leaves the pose looking a little, I'd say a little incomplete. But I mean, for 26, I mean, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Here's a video. Let's see this. So this was 5 days ago.
American?
Spanish.
Okay.
Okay, so he's got,
is this Spanish?
it says Spain on the competitors list, I think.
But I thought he was like British, and well, I might be wrong. No, it's a Spanish name. Yeah, Martinez.
Yeah. Oh, he puts his stuff up in different languages here as well.
Yeah, that's
Esto va ser un fucking knockout man. So he's done half and half.
Vas a ser español. Esto vas a ser.
See translation.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fucking knockout man. Oh, so he's confident. He's confident.
Has there been many Spanish guys in the Olympia? I can't think of one.
Oh man, I don't know. A lot of the time with
that guy Angel Calderon.
Oh, is he Spanish? Oh, of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah, Angel, true. Yeah.
Is there any Spanish Open guys? You don't hear of many.
I don't think so. I think Angel would have to be the most popular.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, for sure. Then we've got Amir Omaragic, who's a guy that just comes in inside out, shredded, and he's actually a lot younger than anyone in this lineup. And it's quite funny how Joanne, how he gets like so much credit, like he's this young guy, but Amir Omaragic is like 2 to 3 years younger and has, I think, will probably, not to discredit Joanne, I think that Amir will probably more likely place higher because I think he's a little bit more complete. This is him earlier in the year at the Arnold Classic South America, looking very good. He placed 3rd place there as well. I believe he's a Chris Aceto client, I think. And this is him from last year when he's 23 years of age. So I think Amir Omaragic goes a little bit overlooked. What do you think of this guy, Keone? Oh, Stan.
23.
He's 24 now, but this photo was from when he's 23, I believe.
What the fuck is he been eating? What the fuck has he been eating? It's fucking no, that's judging for this pose, it looks fucking sick. But I need to see a little bit more.
Yeah, Sky tries a 6 shot.
Yeah. Round up. He's so round up top.
He's very dense too. Like the maturity is well beyond his years. Like you don't see too many guys with this sort of dryness, conditioning. This one is from last year, 58 weeks ago. He posted this one, and he was in the top 3 battling here. No,
I think a lot of bodybuilders are starting younger now. Like you see Patrick's new guy that won the pro card.
I was going to say, and
like
21.
21, yeah, he's so young.
Insane.
Well, he's the youngest pro ever, right, to win a pro card, they said, or?
Right. Bodybuilding, I believe.
Huh?
In bodybuilding, I think.
Yeah, okay.
This was last year, 61 weeks ago. It's crazy.
I think kids these days are starting younger, and teenagers getting straight into it.
People more inspired now, starting young.
Yeah, it's getting more popular in the younger generations.
Yeah, as soon as people graduate in high school or in high school, they're following bodybuilding. So,
yeah.
I want to get on to that guy after we do our predictions for this. We'll get on to that guy that won his pro card at 21. I think I've messaged with him potentially. I've definitely shared his content and he's thanked me. So he's absolutely crazy. But I want to mention. Yes.
He'll be getting a hair transplant in a few years.
When it all falls out.
At least he doesn't have to go very far.
Exactly. 3 corner. Here we go. Andrea Presti, and I think people will probably overlook this guy in the lineup a little bit when they do their predictions, but he's a Mr. Olympia competitor. He's this was 2 days ago. He posted this 120.5 kilograms, which is just 2 pounds over what Roman Fritz is weighing, and always in condition. You can see the glutes are in here. And sometimes pre-contest, he doesn't do himself justice in terms of his photos. Like, I think that he's going to look dramatically better than he looks here, but you can see the conditioning is on. And he got second to Brett Wilkin last year in a show where Brett qualified for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. And some people considered that to be a close contest, and some people even had Andrea actually winning that after prejudging. I personally didn't, but some people did. So he's a formidable competitor. Like, do you guys think that there's something a bit more representative of what he, I suppose, looks like? Do you guys think that he can actually beat Michal Krizo here? Because I think he's a chance if Michal doesn't nail it.
That shot's crazy, that one. Jeez.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
oh my God.
He can definitely outcondition Michal.
I need to see a stage shot. Like, do you have any?
Let me have a look. He's a recent back one.
The last 2 years. Yeah, but you can't really tell because he's like probably 6'1". Like he's a tall, big, wide guy.
Yeah, I swear the only way you can tell is if it's a stage shot with other guys in the.
I think he will be more conditioned than Krizo, but even Krizo, who condition and more size on his legs, he'll still win the show.
Krizo is quite a popular guy too. I think Krizo will have a big following. Like, you really need him in the Olympia.
Yeah.
Things like that in Olympias. They're gonna make sure they make that happen. So
yeah, like he's like the mass monster, really like tallest, biggest dude. He'd have to weigh the most, wouldn't he, Krizo?
On the Olympia stage?
Yeah, he would have to weigh the most, wouldn't he?
Probably Rami, because Rami did a video the other day and he said at the Arnold Classic he was on stage 307 pounds.
Oh.
So, the Arnold. But Rami at the Olympia, he said he was 282 pounds, so he gained 25 pounds.
What happened with that when they said Rami was having a year off? Then the other day, I heard something that he said he's not. He wants to compete again.
Well, he's not sure if he's competing this year, Big Rami. So I did a video on it just the other day on Desktop Bodybuilding. So anyone watching that wants to check that out, you can jump over there and check that video out as well. But basically, Big Rami, it sounds like he wants to compete this year, but he's only just started training again since having the direct injections of the stem cells into his tricep around his elbow, because they said they've never seen inflammation like that around his elbow, which was constricting the blood flow to his triceps. And I don't know if he had direct injections into his lats, but that's why he looked the way he looked at the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, because he wasn't training. He just did Ramadan. He was off gear. Like it was pretty much a recipe for looking your worst, post Arnold. So he obviously dropped a fair bit of size, but Dennis James said he said, I know Rami in 3 weeks he'll be 50 pounds heavier. So if he can bring up those areas, at least, start looking good. Honestly, the way he's talking, I think he'll do the Olympia this year, but he has done interviews as well where he said he doesn't know yet. So, yeah, it's sort of unknown. But you can see Presti here. This is against Andrea Muzi.
He's a big guy too.
That's who I always confuse those two names.
Presti and Muzi.
Yeah.
Muzi is Quadzilla, and Presti is pretty guy. Like, he got a lot of success in Italy. Like, he's killing it in sales, and people are a huge fan of him in Italy.
Of Muzi or Presti?
Presti.
Ah, yeah.
That's why Presti's
He's got.
pretty.
You can see here, man, like you compared to Muzi, it's like the lats actually pop really nicely and are really dense. The chest is really thick and dense. The abs look more developed.
Presti is just a very big guy, and he always come hard as nails, so he's always dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. I think his individual shots don't do him justice, probably because he is a slightly taller guy as well. So, yeah, I think that Presti can definitely win certain shots. I don't know if he'll win the show, but yeah, I think he can do some damage. I'll just look up this guy as well, Christian Wolski, because I can't quite. I remember his face, but I can't remember if he's going to be sort of a guy that could potentially do some damage here. But I want to give him his dues. Okay, looks pretty decent. I don't think he'll be okay. This is 2 weeks ago, so he's not quite in full contest shape here, but he's got a pretty good.
Yeah, he looks pretty.
Oh, he's good. Yeah. This is 3 weeks out, so he's still got a little bit to go in the back, but
he's good.
Yeah, he looks good there.
Pretty good lineup, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like it's not a ton of names. It's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys, but the top 5 is going to look really, really good. And I missed out as well. Peter Clancier. Sorry, I've got to mention him because I saw a photo of him this morning and he's looking quite good.
Huge and peeled.
And the good thing about like the top 5, everybody has a good structure too as well. It's not nobody have like that mutant type look. It's just everybody's bringing some muscle bellies on stage.
Yeah. 15 weeks difference here in joining the process. This was posted a week ago. It might have been like up to almost 2 weeks ago. To me, he looks, even he's got lines in his shoulders. You can't tell with the lighting. Like I've seen guys and I've seen them in horrible lighting and then they show up on stage and they're shredded and vice versa as well. So maybe, I'd like to see a little bit more depth in his abs to sort of balance, to completely complete that pose. But he always looks great, but he always seems to be a guy. This is 3 weeks ago.
There's a video on Bodybuilder Without Borders of him posing.
Oh, is it? Yeah, because I was going to say, I thought I saw one this morning. Bodybuilders Without Borders. For some reason, when I share video on here, unless it's like one that I've done, it goes all laggy. But oh yeah, yep.
Everywhere.
Yeah, he's looking actually a lot more conditioned here. For sure. I mean, can this guy be a factor in terms of? I mean, he's probably going to compare best. Him and Presti are going to compare best with Krizo, just because of the height and the size and everything. Like, do you think he can cause some damage and potentially like take out a Krizo and make his mark, or do you think that Krizo is too far ahead?
I always felt like he was like a slightly smaller version of Krizo, but I guess he's very round. It's just a corny thing to say, but I think it's just going to come down to condition. If he can come in peeled, someone could knock him off. But I feel like someone's going to have to come in pretty good to knock off Krizo. Because Krizo, like I said, I think he sort of needs to be in the Olympia. If you know what I'm saying, like it's going to have to be pretty hard to knock him off.
Yeah,
I'm sure Krizo is going to come in leaner because he's copped a lot of flack with his previous conditions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. As just disappeared. Let's get a phone call or something. Keone, what do you think about Peter Clancier? Because he's one of these guys to me that always, like pre-contest, I'm like, this guy can win it. and he ends up in 4th place, and I'm like, oh damn! And there's just something like it. I don't know if he's not nailing his peak. I don't know if he's not coming quite full enough last minute or what's happening. But you can just sort of see why when he hits the stage, he just misses it that little bit sometimes. But what do you think about Peter Clancy? Do you think he can challenge?
He looks great here. I just really didn't compare to Krizo and the other guys. Honestly, I need to see him on stage. He's huge, he's massive, he's really lean in his check-in, but it's always different when you're next to other people that's, have that same type of condition or better. So I just next to people.
Yeah, for sure. Stan, do you think he can win it?
Yeah, I think he can. But I think he's the last minute adjustments, he can come down to a lot of things. And the main thing I think is preparation. Like the more you're used to just do all those poses, the more like it's just normal for you to go on stage, the less, of a shock it is. So the more you just keep calm, everything is steady, you have no like spike of cortisol or anything. It just, your body is that's part of the preparation, like all that posing, all that repetition, all those things where it becomes second nature. And that might be what he's missing to really just like bring that look right here on stage.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think you can win it? Because apparently, according to this person here in the comments, says he's the albino Phil Heath. I think that's a stretch, but
yeah, he's very complete. He's big. His condition. So yeah, I think
he's very well balanced.
Yeah,
he has a nice balance, nice and round. Yeah, if you just like I said, if he knows that condition, 100% he can win it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Sweet. Let's get to some predictions for this show. I don't know if you knew you was going to do this, Keone, but we have to do a top 5. I'll do mine first while you guys have a little think about it, and I'm literally just doing this off the top of my head. I'm going to say first, Michal Krizo. I think he'll win this. I think that he's, 11th place or so. I don't want to get that wrong. 10th, 11th. 11th or 12th, whatever it was at the Olympia, because I know that Rafael Brandao was 10th, and I know it was either Ian Valliere or Michal Krizo in 11th, and the other one in 12th. So I'll say Michal Krizo in first because I think it'll be improved as well. In second place, I'm going to say it's tough. It's between Roman Fritz and Andrea Presti. I'm going to say Andrea Presti. Had Roman Fritz's posing in that video been better, I probably would have picked him. But I'm going to say Andrea Presti in second. In third place, I'm going to say Roman Fritz, and then and then I'm going to say Wellington in fourth. And then I'm going to say Amir Omaragic in fifth. And then I'm going to say Peter Clancy in... No, I'm going to... Yeah, Peter Clancy in sixth, just because he hasn't proved it enough times on stage. But Stan, I'll go to you second, man. What's your top 5, top 6 in this show?
I'm going to have Krizo first. I would say... I want to say Clancy here, but because of like what you've shown so far and like kind of more like the history, like I want to say Presti in second, then Clancy here. And Wellington in fourth. And
I'll zoom it in for you, Az. You look like you're struggling.
Is Wellington the first guy you showed us?
Yeah, the aesthetic dude from Brazil with the hair tattoos.
Then I would say Johan fifth.
Oh, man, I forgot about Johan. I'm going to say him seventh. Sorry. Who did you leave out then, man? Because you said 5 guys and you put Johan in there, so you left out.
I didn't have Roman. I don't have Emir. Yeah.
Okay, so you can be the Emir and Roman hater.
No, I'm no hater.
I'm joking, man.
I really can go in, like I said, like the top 5 is gonna be really close.
Pretty hard to choose, to be honest.
Yeah,
yeah, sure. It's very close. Az, who have you got, man?
I'll go Krizo first, and then I'm gonna go a surprising one, Peter Clancy for second, and then Roman third, and then Roman third. And Wellington, and then Presti after that.
Yep, fair. Keone, who have you got, man?
I'm very close to where Stan is. I'm like Krizo, Presti. For third, I like the Wellington guy. I like him. I'm gonna go ahead with.
Good.
I could be wrong. Third, fourth. I would go with who's the last guy you just showed us?
That was Peter Clancy.
I would go with Peter. Fifth, I would say Roman.
Roman, yeah. I like it, man. I like it. And it's a tough show to predict. Like, after picking Krizo in first, it's like you put him in a hat and then just guess. I just think Johan won't be complete enough at this show to place top 5. So yeah, I'm definitely keen to do a bet with you, Stan, about that.
I feel like Clancy is more complete, but I feel like Andrea's conditioning might just hedge him. That's why I have Andrea in second.
And I feel bad about putting Clancy that far down. It's like, because he is so good. You see him and you go, well, how can you deny him? But you have to put someone in 5th and 6th and 7th. It's you can't fit 7 guys into 5 places. And that's what it was like for the Olympia last year. And I think we're going to have the same issue at the Olympia this year, because everyone's saying, oh, this guy could be top 10. This guy, I reckon he's top 10. It's like, you can't have 16 guys in your top 10. It doesn't fit, so. But yeah, awesome. Love that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University. If you did, there's a ton more episodes on desktop bodybuilding right now from the past. We've had guys like Nick Walker on. Obviously, weekly we have Brett Wilkin, Nathan Diasha, Martin Fitzwater, Stanimal, Stan DeLonge. Recently had Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland on. And we have a whole ton more guests coming up for you guys as well. Sergio Oliva Jr., tons of names coming at you guys. Also, you get tons of bodybuilding news, all that good stuff. So make sure you like this video, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself here, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and you won't miss out on another episode of Bodybuilding University. So that's it for this one, guys. Xavier Wills and all the guys at Bodybuilding University. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.